She's here to protect queer art, write your rap verse, and right now she's about to lead me to Mordor. It's Megami!
Oh my God, hello, darling. I love that we both got the memo today.
We did. I mean, it must have been in the air.
Yeah.
It was just like a feeling.
You know, something's in the air. Something like, Kate Blanchett sent us a message telepathically.
Yeah. We have to talk about this because
Well, this is just, I was just going to CVS and, just a little something for the groceries.
Would you go to the store in this? Do you ever go to the store in like your cosplay drag?
I have gone to the store, like after the gig in drag, but I don't usually make a point out of it. The people at the store are not paying me, so
Yeah.
we can't give them a free meet and greet at Stop and Shop. We gotta respect ourselves a little more.
And especially with knockers like those, I mean,
truly, what are you talking about? I'm a nice Christian A cup here.
Yes. So tell me, what is your draw to Lord of the Rings? What's the inspiration behind today?
Well, I have always loved fantasy. I'm a huge geek. I am a cosplayer. I love all the geeky things, fantasy, video games, everything. So Lord of the Rings was one of those things. Growing up, like when the movies came out in 2001, like me as like a 12-year-old, like blowing my mind, like, oh my God, this is the greatest cinematic achievement of all time. So like I've always loved those movies, and Gandalf Big Naturals is such a funny meme on the internet. I was like, I have wanted to do this costume forever. So when you rang, I was like, perfect opportunity.
Yes. Literally, this is like giving me everything.
Thank you.
I remember I would go to Target or Walmart and I would look for the little action figures. They had like little action figures for them.
I had like the whole set.
Did you really?
Like every single one of them.
Stop.
And the only one I didn't have was the Galadriel one, because I don't even know if they made one. Like the cuntiest she-elf, and they like didn't even give her an action figure. But I had all the boys.
Yeah, no, those were big. And then like if I didn't have the right money, like if I didn't have my chore money or whatever, then I would take the toys and I would hide them under the stands and everything in Target, because I was like, I can come back and get them in a week, but they're gonna be gone in a day or two. Like,
you know what? You're the original scalper. You were hiding product.
Yes, as you should.
As you should.
I've noticed, you are a big cosplayer. You've talked about it quite a bit. You've had some great looks and stuff. And I think the biggest question that I had from fans is, what is your favorite cosplay that you have ever done?
So if any of y'all out there know Final Fantasy X, the mother of mothers, Lulu, that is probably like, first of all, in a full leather gown with like 200 belts all over her body, crazy. And then I'm wearing this at the Javits Center with like 90-degree heat. It was an awful Comic-Con, but it was also my favorite costume I've ever made. Because I just love like a badass bitch. Those are my favorite characters, especially like the girl characters. Yeah. So Lulu, Final Fantasy X, amazing.
Do you find that doing a regular drag look compared to cosplay, like what do you get more enjoyment out of? Because like when I do Halloween big. So like 2 years ago I was like Dark Queen Duck and stuff, and like I go full in it, and I get so much excitement out of finding pieces and making sure that things look almost identical. What do you enjoy the most?
I think I tend to enjoy the cosplay of it all more, just because it's such an easy way to connect to people.
It's true.
Because if Lord of the Rings, for example, you have an experience with Lord of the Rings and you love it. I have an experience with Lord of the Rings and I love it. So like we're just immediately connected. So anytime I'm out in a bar and I'm doing a geek show, or even if I'm just cosplaying for shits and giggles, it's like it's just, you just connect with people on a deeper level of like, you're the same kind of crazy as I am, because you love this really weird gay geeky thing. So like that's the joy of cosplaying for me. And it's also like the fun of reinterpreting this thing that exists into your own art. So like, obviously Gandalf didn't look like this in the movie.
What do you mean?
Well, in the movies that I saw online, maybe. But, I get to reinterpret the character in a cuntier way. And I feel like that's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, I also love my regular drag, but like being a huge geek myself and geek culture being where my drag started, I'm like, I will always be a cosplayer and be doing stupid stuff like this.
Well, it doesn't only just play into cosplay. Like, you know, your creative mind also goes into, let's talk about 2019 DragCon?
Yes.
When you made Mo Heart's card look. That was...
And I won the costume competition. That was such an amazing moment for me too, because like getting the validation from one of the judges of Drag Race who would then go on later to actually judge me on my season was like, this is one of these like full circle moments. And it was because of like cosplaying that like got me there.
Well, before we get into a lot of fun questions that I have.
Yes.
You and I were chatting, and I've also been noticing on your socials too, you've been losing some weight.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm like, where did it go?
Are you calling me fat?
Wow. No internet. I am not. We discussed this beforehand.
Wow, Frodo's canceled. Frodo is canceled. Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing. It's like I love to just talk about my life. I don't know. That's just like my defect of my brain of like I just don't shut up. And you know, a lot of the girlies have been losing weight in one way or another. But I always feel like I hate seeing when girls kind of like are very hush hush about it. Like, oh my God, don't talk about it. Like we can't. You know, I didn't use Ozempic or whatever. I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
First of all, if you're at home giving a shit how somebody is losing weight in their lives, get a fucking job. Yeah. Like that's unemployed behavior. It's none of your business. But it's also like I hate that we continue to feed into this stigma of like, oh, you can't talk about how you lose weight. You can't you talk about using any medication or whatever. And it's like, people are gonna hate you when you're fat, and they're gonna hate you for losing weight. So might as well just like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Just talk about it. You know, I am one of the older girlies, considering that like all the 15-year-olds are on Drag Race these days. I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I want to start making sure I take care of myself better. And that I can make it through a 5-minute number without getting too winded. So I think I'm on an interesting journey. And yeah, the medication is helping. It's great. If you can get it, diva. Like, who gives a shit how you do it? Just like love your body and do whatever works for you. And I will still be there for the bear community as, you know, the queen of the bears. Those are my people.
Let's talk about some of your other people that you have helped out in Drag Race.
Yes.
First of all, it started off with you writing a rap verse for
who? Which one?
For yourself first. Let's start with yourself.
Down on your knees, bitch, pray to me, cause Megami is a goddess still pay to see. That's Megami, what?
You wrote your verse.
Yes.
You also wrote/helped Nymphia write her verse.
Yes.
Gone with the wind, I'm fabulous. These mother trucking hoes can't handle us. Breaking, wind, serving.
And then, most recently, All Stars 10, we learned that the Rap and Roast that you had helped Miss Georgia.
Speaking of mistress, let's be for real. You're looking like Godzilla in a 1-inch heel. You talk the most, yet say the least. To quote Alyssa Edwards.
Where does your writing come from? Have you always written? Have you been like a rhymeaholic? Like where's that come from?
I think, you know, I'm from New York, like born and raised New Yorker. So like I always grew up listening to rap and hip hop, and like that's just like such a part of the culture in New York. So it's just like always in my ear of like, you know, people rapping and rhyming and stuff. And you know, I love my rap girlies. You know, Nicki, Megan, Doja, Cardi. Cardi's my number one. So like I just love the art of it in general, and it's so funny because my verse for that challenge I actually wrote like 3 years before it filmed. To Kitty Girl, because I was like, I'm gonna put this in my audition tape and show them like, hey, I'm ready for a girl group challenge. I can make an original verse. So I had been working on it for a while, and so luckily when we got there to film, it was already just done. So I had time to help Nymphia do hers. But yeah, I never thought like, oh my God, this is something that I'm like good at. I was just like, this is for fun. And then, we won the challenge and everyone online loved it. And I was like, oh, maybe this is something that like I am actually talented in. And yeah, then Jorgeous called and she was like, Diva, I need your help with this challenge.
Called you?
Yeah, she texted me one day. This is like before they were filming. It was like, hey Diva, like I need help with this challenge if you can. And I was like, absolutely. Like I love doing this, and I told her that like I don't want any money for it. Like I don't care about money. What I want is the recognition, because for me that's more valuable as someone who is trying to get on All Stars myself. Like, having the fans and more importantly the producers and production know that like, hey, I'm someone who has viable talent to go back on the show and show more of myself. For me that was more important. So that's what I told her. I was like, I don't want money from you. I just want just the recognition that hey, like put Megami back on the show, please.
Yeah.
And obviously she got up there, she recorded it, she performed it, like that was 100% her win. I just helped any way that I could.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of that. And I'm like I'm glad that like this talent that I didn't really expect to have has been like helping my sisters win.
Well, the verse was written extremely well. You have a great way with words.
Thank you.
I do want to know though, because you didn't know Lydia yet, right?
We did not.
So how did that come to be? Like, what was the tea behind that? Where you just like, let me just rhyme?
That was actually Jorgeous did write that part herself. Because we had another line for a different girl who, well, everyone knows it was Maddie.
Yeah.
Who got replaced. So like I had to read for Maddie, and then last minute, like after they came back, she told me, oh yeah, like Maddie wasn't there, so I had to rewrite something for Lydia. So it's like, oh, you see, she did participate. It wasn't 100% me. Like she knows what she's doing too.
I loved the end with your Alyssa Edwards beast in there.
Oh, I told her too. I was like, that's gonna win the challenge.
Yes. And Ruse laugh at it. I mean, that was a whole moment.
Yeah. I mean, that felt great of like, I'm just like, I love making people laugh. That is like one of the like core, like foundational parts of my identity. It's just like, the world is such an awful place.
Yeah.
Like if we can stop and just laugh at shit more often, I think everyone would be happier. So like, even filming those moments in between that maybe didn't make it to air where like you'd make Rue laugh, it's like, oh my God, thank God.
Yes.
So like even just like hearing that like Rue laughed at a stupid joke that I wrote, it's like, okay, that feels good.
Yeah. So there is a conspiracy theory on the internet that I read about the whole thick and stick. And I would like to read this to you and get your thoughts and opinions.
Okay.
The reason all of Thick and Stick won the girl groups episode instead of just one person like in every other US version of the challenge is because production couldn't justify giving Nymphia the solo win over her teammates, especially Megami. So they just gave it to everyone. The fact that they had to split the prize money supports my theory, in my opinion. That's what a conspiracy theory said. So I would like to know what your thoughts are.
Well, I can't confirm or deny. I'm not production, so I don't know why. I don't know the actual answer. I will say that is it's not. I don't feel that that's terribly off the mark. But then again, like it's one of those things of like, at the end of the day, we all got up on that stage and performed it together. We all created this moment together. So, yeah, I may have had a little bit more hand in creating it, but I am proud that, like, we all got the recognition that, like, all four of you went up there and killed this fucking challenge. So, like, I don't, maybe it is true, maybe it's not. Maybe they had planned on giving it to all four to begin with.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's true, maybe it's not.
There was a question that I got from somebody named @thatguy_Anthony_Ware. Why does she always feel the need to broadcast what she wrote for someone before the queen using it can even say anything? Couldn't she let Jorgeous enjoy her win for 5 minutes before running to Twitter to brag? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? I will say, like, that was the whole, like, people had already been asking about it. And, when, like I said, when I talked to Jorgeous, I was like, the only thing I want is, like, the credit, the recognition. And, Jorgeous shared it and told everyone, too, that, like, I wrote it. So, maybe that's just me being like an eager nerd, and
it's exciting.
I'm sorry, Jorgeous, if I kind of like stepped on your coattails a little bit. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But I'm just an awkward nerd who, like, I'm excited to share this thing that I helped create on the internet. And you know what? I think Jorgeous is doing just fine.
Yeah. I mean, runner up. Great finale, great lip syncs in the end. She killed it all season long.
She's booked and blessed, and All Stars 23, she'll probably come back and win. They love having her. So
yeah. Would you ever do an All Stars? I know you've mentioned potentially wanting to. Is that something that's in? Would you want that in the cards sooner than later, or do you feel like you would want to have more time under your belt?
Well, yes, I would absolutely love to do an All Stars. I feel like Drag Race is such a weird thing, because like I had been watching since season 3, so this is for like almost 2 decades at this point of watching this show and loving this show, and then starting drag because I love this show and working my ass off for years to try to get on, auditioning 5 times to get on, and then once you're there, it's kind of like you always think what it's gonna be like, and then you get there, and the reality of creating Drag Race like hits you like a cement truck. Like it's such a hard thing to explain to people that, like, you're very isolated. You're sequestered. You can't call home. You don't have your support system. So you really have to rely on yourself. And I think for me, I tend to like to experience something, and then I understand how it works and how it goes. But like trying to do that as I'm also performing drag, is very hard. And I think I, on my season, shut down more than I should have. And it's one of those things I look back and I regret. I'm like, I wish I had been more of the weird, loud, annoying pain in the ass that I usually am. And a lot of that was just like the insecurity. Mamaru hit it right on the head with that inner saboteur, because we all joke about it, and then you get to Drag Race and you're like, oh my God, I am the worst thing ever. My drag is awful and everyone hates me. And you just tell yourself that, and it messes with all of us. I'm like, you see even someone like Saphira, when she used her potion, like we were asking her, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why did you waste your potion? And she was like, the insecurity was just eating her. And like it, so even someone as strong as Saphira Crystal gets affected by it. So I want to go back, because I feel like I still have so much more to show, and so much more to prove to everyone that like, hey, here's some talents that you got to see as me as a songwriter, me as a lip sync performer. But I wanna show everything else that I can do. So I really do want to go back on All Stars, because I feel like I have a lot of unfinished business with the show.
Well, we're gonna take a break. When we get back, Megami is going to spin the bottle. We are back. I'm here with Megami. We have been chatting it up, and it's about time for her to spin the bottle. Ooh. Did you used to play Spin the Bottle? Have you ever?
Oh my God, no. I was a chubby nerd growing up all my life. So like those kind of games were like not. I was at home, playing World of Warcraft and shit like that. I was not, going to parties kissing people. I'm a geek.
Give it a spin.
Let's play spin the bottle in the
Remix from the past.
Oh my God.
Are you ready to bring up some of your past moments?
I'm not, but let's see what you got.
All right. First up,
Jesus Christ.
let's look at this baby. What do we have here?
So this was the second time I ever did drag. This is a thing about me being a huge nerd. Was I started drag because of cosplaying, and so I did this like open stage competition, and it's one of these things of me having a lot of ideas but not knowing how to like
Execute them.
not only execute but like how to edit them down
Yes.
into like something like manageable. So this was I did a competition and I did a 9-minute version of the Dark Phoenix saga from X-Men with costume reveals to a medley of Christina Aguilera music because you know I was just like more is more.
Yeah.
Let's do everything. And so this was literally the second time I ever performed in drag, probably like 2016 or something like that. Yeah, that was something.
Wait, okay, so I do want to know from you. You said that more is more. That's how you used to think.
Yeah.
And I want to know how you got your mind to where it is today, because that was my issue. When I did my whole like drag thing, a couple of months ago, and I went to go perform at the Abbey, I had so many ideas in my head. Like my mind is probably exactly like yours. I was like, okay, for Pink Pony Club, I am going to come out in horse mask and I'm going to do this and I'm going to dance on a stripper pole. And then I'm going to have men who are going to feed carrots to me. And I came and it kept going and going and going. And I thought it was going to be this great thing, but then it was like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
Everything that I never even thought could happen happened. But at the end of the day, I do want to know how you tapped it down. Like, how did you start tapping things down?
I think, it really is one of those things of like, it is just doing it. Like, it is the trial and error. Because everyone who hasn't done drag kind of has this vision of where they're going to be. Like, you watch it on TV and it's kind of the trickery of what we do as like professional queens of like making it look a lot easier than it actually is. And then you start trying it and you're like, oh wow, this is an like ungodly amount of work that goes into drag. But there really is no shortcut to like getting to that place. It really is just like, I mean, this was my second time, but there's a million other times after that like each time was a little bit better and I learned something more. And I learned like, hey, after, the 6-minute mark, maybe the audience isn't paying as much attention. So let's chop it down. Or if I'm doing a comedy mix, like, hey, this joke didn't work as well, but this joke works better. So let me edit the track and try it again and try it again. It's like, stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
You try it again. And it really is just like the trial and error of like each time you just learn something a little bit more. And, the hardest part really is the first one, because there's a million girls out there who watch a TV show and think, oh, I can do that, and then never do. So it really is that like that's the biggest hurdle, because once you now you can do it.
Yeah.
Now you know what goes into it.
Yeah.
So next time will be a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then the next time will be a little bit better. So really it's like you should feel proud that like you actually got over that first hurdle, because a lot of people don't ever get over it. And realistically, I always say like the worst thing you can do is be boring. And even if it's a fucking shit show, it's not boring.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So it's, there's so many girls who I see who are like starting out drag, and they may not be like the most highest caliber, the best drag ever, but they're so wildly entertaining and fun to watch because, they're having fun, and maybe they're messy, maybe they lose a wig. I'm like, I know you were upset about losing your wig, but I'm like, hey, look, half of season 17 lost their wigs on national television.
I'm actually glad, looking back on it, I'm glad I lost my wig, because I think when I lost it, I went to fight or flight mode, and I went, make this as good as you fucking can right now, because it's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, I went to that as opposed to being like, oh fuck, I want to just run off the stage. I was like, fucking kill this last bit. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you need to do.
No, sometimes you need that like catalyst to like push you over the edge and be like, I don't care anymore. Let's just have fun.
Yes.
Because that's at the end of the day, it should be fun. Why am I doing this? Because it's fun.
You want to know why else you're doing it?
Sure.
Because you're protecting queer art.
Oh my God.
So
Trauma response.
it is the talent show. You do a performance to one of my favorite songs, For Non-Blondes, What's Up?
Yes.
And the internet came in.
Yeah, the internet had thoughts and opinions. I will first say, getting ready for Drag Race that month before we went to film was probably the hardest 4 weeks of my entire life. Getting my entire package together, and then also having to put together a talent show number while I'm doing everything else. And I did it mostly by myself. I had like a few people help me, but like a lot of what I brought on my season was things that I made myself, things that I put together myself. So I didn't have a lot of help. This was not supposed to be my number originally. So I was gonna do, this is like breaking exclusive. Granted, I've talked about this before, but so my original concept, if anyone out there knows my work in Brooklyn, I do love to be a very weird avant-garde spooky queen, pour blood all over myself and everything. So I was gonna have a white gown and have like these slides of like statistics of like how many anti-LGBT legislation were being introduced, how many trans people were being murdered, and like things like that as I'm bleeding out on the dress. And it was like, for one reason or another, that did not come to pass. I couldn't do that. So this was like after weeks of kind of trying to figure out what am I gonna do? I have this opportunity, this platform to say something to people at home, and me being someone who I pay attention to politics very regularly, and knowing all of, even from back then, what Project 2025 and all of these plans were, because they were not, it wasn't a secret.
Yeah.
We've known about this for a long time. And they've been trying to attack minorities and people of color and queer people forever. So it's like I want to say something, and this is like a guaranteed 60 seconds to do whatever and say something. So this was kind of like my frustration of like, I didn't get to do the number I wanted to do, but at the end of it, I was like, I'm just going to say the part that I need to say to people at home. And, people were like, why are you basically saying you were preaching to the choir? But not everyone who watches Drag Race is like, one of the blue hair Bushwick girlies,
That's
like
true.
super liberal people. There's a lot of, people in the middle, people who don't vote, people who don't participate in politics, who watch this show. And there's even a lot of people who maybe more on the liberal side who don't understand that, like, you love us on television, but we are human beings. And we need you to stand up and show up and support and protect us, because we can't keep making this art that we love to do if, it's not legal anymore.
Yeah.
So that was really like the whole point of my message. And you know what? Could it have been better? Absolutely. I will be the number one first person to tell you, like, I wish I had more time. But at the beginning, the response was not so fun to be around for. And it really did kind of, because you're getting, because us as people, we're not used to like thousands and thousands and thousands of voices. In our daily lives, maybe we have like a couple dozen people we interact with. In our careers, maybe we have a few hundred people. But like once you're put on this platform and having thousands and thousands and thousands of people let you know very explicitly how they feel about you, an edited version of you, it's not, us as human beings are not prepared for that kind of mental stress. Yeah. So like, it wasn't a very fun time in my life. But I will say the thing that I'm so incredibly happy and grateful for is that it kind of went all the way around to being a meme, which like, people still will tag me in things. People still say, protect queer art. Like it took on a life of its own. And that was the point. I may not have gotten there the way that I wanted to, but the fact that people still talk about like, protect queer art, or this is the art Megami wanted to protect, like that means more than anything. That means more than, winning the challenge, means more, because like that is an actual substantive thing in the culture and that people still say and talk about. And that's all I wanted was like to keep the conversation going, to keep people thinking about protecting queer art, because it matters now literally more than ever, to show up for each other and show up for our community. So it was a traumatizing moment, and you never really get over it, but it's still, now at least there's pride in it. Like I I fell on the sword for a noble reason, I guess. Exactly. Oh my God. So yeah, it's a very bittersweet thing, I think.
I think it also, when things do go askew on Drag Race, and like you said, when it can be a full circle moment and it turn all the way around, I mean, to be able to have like people like Meatball and stuff, like even though it's like poking fun at the situation, it kept the conversation going longer and longer and longer. So now it's like, it is like a meme, like you said, it is protect queer art, you know?
Because that was one of those things too, that like it does kind of like hurt a little bit. And I will say I love Meatball. She's like one of my favorite queens. So much fun to work with. So this is not like anything against her, but like it, just me as a human being, it's like, when you're being made fun of by like people you respect, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
But then I kind of was able to get to a point where like, it took on a life of its own, and because of Meatball, like it just kept going, and now it's a thing that like people still say, and I still, to this day, I tweeted a couple of weeks ago that like my favorite thing this past year and a half since the season has been that people still tag me in like the craziest, most unhinged drag performances, and I love it.
Yes.
And they're always like, tagging me. This is the queer art Megami wanted to protect, and I'm like, I love that so incredibly much.
You should do a YouTube show where you review them.
Oh my God.
Protecting queer art.
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
So yeah, keep sending me your weird fucked up drag videos.
Yes.
I legitimately watch them all, and I love them because I love drag. This is my favorite thing in the world.
Let's talk about, you just mentioned Twitter and you mentioned tweeting. I want to talk about something you tweeted.
Oh God, is it a nude?
No, it's not. But it's about somebody else doing nude things.
Oh my God.
Met Boomer Banks tonight and told him how during filming season 16, his DVD in my portable DVD player got me through the roughest of times.
Yes.
Were you allowed to bring this? How did this happen? And was this, I've heard stories about girls passing around stuff. Was this passed around?
Okay, so that one was not passed around. It's like, I don't trust those bitches to respect my property in a cleanly way.
Yes.
But yeah, so when you're there, you're not allowed to have like any specifically any electronic devices that connect to the internet. So like we were allowed to have those because that is like a portable DVD player from like 2005 that it's made out of rocks and it barely functions.
Yeah.
So that was fine. So it's like you don't have access to the internet when nature calls and you really want to feel yourself. So I was like, you know what? Let me prepare. I'm a very for the astrology girlies, I have 3 Capricorn placements and 3 Taurus placements. So I'm a very practical person. So I was like, you know what? Let me plan ahead. And when I was like looking up like DVDs, because like who owns physical media? One physical media period, but 2 physical media of porn.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, now I have to get something. And I was like, you know what? I enjoy Boomer's content. So I was like, you know what? I'll get this DVD. That'll hold me over for however long. And then, cause he lives in New York, so I met him one day at the club, and I was like, oh my God, I told him the story and I showed him the picture and he thought it was fucking hilarious. So then I tweeted it, and oh my God, I forgot what publication. It was like Queer News, something, or Pink News, something like that. They did a whole article about it, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, they're exposing me in the wrong way.
Yes.
And now you're exposing me again.
Let's talk about this, baby. Okay, I really want to know, like, this moment, your whole lip sync, Lollapalooza, you came back with a vengeance.
I did.
I do not think, I know that I was reading tweets and reading your reaction and stuff, and you had mentioned that you were just happy if you could get by one, you could do one lip sync, but you did multiple.
Yeah.
And you continually kept showing out every single time. So I want to know what that experience was like. How was it like having a redemption? And then also, let's talk about the puppet.
Yeah, Megami over here.
Yeah, Megami.
So I think, so when we were filming the season, we filmed through like, I think it was like middle of May through the end of June was the main part of the season. Then we had like a little break, and they were like, you're going to come back in August, like literally like a month and a half, to like film the last 2 episodes. It's gonna be a Lollapalooza and a finale. So I had like that month to like really think about my time on the show. And I was like, I want to go back and I want to show people that like I'm a good performer. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think, you know, Miley Cyrus Flowers was my favorite moment of my life. And I was like, I just went in with the goal of like, I need to win one. Like, I need to win one lip sync, you know, show that I can perform, get a little bit more screen time. Like, that's all I legitimately wanted. And like I said, me being very, very earth sign heavy, very practical person, kind of over prepared for every scenario. I always describe it as like the scene in Avengers where Doctor Strange is like looking through the multiverse on how to beat Thanos. And I was like just going through my mind of like every possible scenario of being like, if I get picked, who am I picking? If this person picks me, what song am I picking? If this person picks me, what song am I picking? So like I went in there, I went up just very prepared for like every scenario that I could get to like hopefully give myself the best opportunity to win one.
Yeah.
Cut to me winning 3, and I was like, okay, this is like, I wasn't expecting it. So this hand puppet came from when they told us like what the final song was, which was Gonna Make You Sweat. All of us in the group chat were like, it's Maya and Morphine. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, all of us said it. It's like, it's Maya and Morphine in the end. Like, let's not be stupid. They're absolutely amazing performers. 2 of the best performers Drag Race has ever had. So we're like, yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to learn the rap part of this song that I'm not going to have to perform. But I was also like, just on the 1% chance that I do happen to somehow find my way into the finale, let me have a backup plan for that. So that's where that little hand puppet came from, was like, I didn't know the rap verse to Gonna Make You Sweat. Yeah. And was like, let me be smart and have a backup plan for something silly I can do to kind of get out of it. And, you know, thank Gaga I had it, because like it would have been a disaster without.
Well, and then also you had these 3 great performances, and I know that something smart that you guys have been doing has been putting out Venmos and Cash Apps and stuff like that. How much did you make?
over that weekend, I think the final number was like $23,000 that like the fans sent to me.
That's crazy.
Which was insane. Yeah, I'm like I think that weekend I probably cried like 8 or 9 times because it was like going from someone who like a lot of people either didn't like or didn't really care about to like all of a sudden this like tidal wave of like love and appreciation and support was like just emotionally overwhelming for me as a person. I'm a very emotional person. So like just getting this amount of like love after like months of like not liking myself was just like intense.
Yeah.
And I'm so incredibly grateful for having that moment and so incredibly grateful for everyone who, you know, got to see something in me that like I had wanted to show the world. And so, you know, thank you everyone who like enjoyed that episode, enjoyed that moment, and especially thank you everyone who sent me a tip because that paid for my entire package.
Yes.
So like I was like debt free after that, and I was like, this is all that like I could have asked for from the show. So like I'm so incredibly like humble and grateful for that.
I'm so glad.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, Megami is going to spin the bottle one last time.
Oh my God.
Hey everybody, we are back. I'm here with Megami. And Megami, are you ready to spin this bottle again?
You know what? Sure. I hope it lands on you.
Yes.
Okay, let's spin it.
Hole in the bowl.
What
All right.
is that?
Hole in the bowl is you're going to draw 3 questions from this bowl. I don't know where all the questions went. I think that there's some in there now. Yes.
Jessica
and then-
Wilde stole them all.
And yeah, I think she did.
These goddamn Puerto Ricans,
And
I swear to God.
And then answer them. So you can answer them one by one. They may be nice, they may be mean, they may be great, they may be
Sure.
beans.
All right, let me stick my fist in this bowl. Oh my God. I have no experience doing this.
Oh.
What moment wasn't shown in your season edit you wish was? Ooh. I'm trying to think. There's so many moments that like just like I remember so explicitly that like I wish people had got to see. One of them was incredibly stupidly, and I understand why it wasn't. So in the corner of the workroom, there is like a folding partition that is like for privacy when you're tucking it up and getting into drag. So in the dollhouse episode, I went back there and I was getting into my padding and everything, and I slipped backward and fell into the wall. And for those girlies who know Drag Race, know that those brick walls are made of fabric. So there was this one moment where like, and it was funny because the camera was facing Plane and Q if you were watching the episode. And all of a sudden, like, the back wall kind of just, like, dips backward and comes back up. And I was like, oh, my God, I am so mortified that I almost destroyed the workroom because I fell into this fabric wall. I was like, oh, my God, I literally almost destroyed the workroom.
Next up, let's see what you get.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Did you steal anything from Drag Race? And if so, what?
Ooh.
I feel like that's a loaded question because I'm Puerto Rican. Wow. So yeah, everyone stole everything from Drag Race. We all also cut giant chunks of the fabric workroom wall out, which I have a piece framed in my apartment, and then I gave a bunch out to other people. So, you know, that's a tradition. Like, you gotta go there and rip the wall apart.
Yes.
But also, when we came back to film the finale, so right outside the workroom entrance doors, to the left is like this little hallway with these racks going all through it. And on the racks, they have like literally anything you need for drag. That's like, you know, wig glue and extra tights and nails and different like tape, like literally everything, bobby pins, whatever you need, because like they want you focused on the episode and like being on TV, not looking for bobby pins and Q-tip swabs and stuff. So at the end of that, like we finished the finale. I think all the girls kind of grabbed bags and were just like supermarket sweeping. Like I'm taking everything that I can because they refill it every season. So it's like stuff like that. Like I still have a ton of junk that like I was like, I don't know if I'll ever be back here. So I'm just going to steal everything. It's just like they don't care. It's junk. So we all stole a ton of crap from Drag Race. But my favorite is the piece of the wall. You have to get a piece of the wall.
I want a piece of the wall. I think we
you
all
know
need
what?
a piece of the wall.
When I'm back on All Stars, I'll get a bigger one.
Yes. Let's do one more question.
One more. Okay. What is the wildest thing that's happened to you while performing? It wasn't. Well, you know what? This will make sense. So, I am a part of the bear community. And my favorite bar in New York City is Rock Bar, which is, the bear bar of New York. And every first of the month is their rock strap underwear party.
Okay.
So this was last summer, so after the season, after the Lollapalooza and everything. So I was like, you know what? I have like a night off. Let me go, see my friends in the community, and they have a dark room there. So after several drinks, I was in the dark room, performing with a fan.
I love you. Yes.
And someone taps me on the shoulder, and this is, mid-performance, and leans over and whispers in my ear, I just wanted to say I loved you in the Lollapalooza. And I was like, Diva.
Ooh.
You couldn't wait
until
5 minutes to find me at the bar to say that. You had to while my penis is inside someone. you that's when you thought was the opportune moment to tell me how much of a fan you were. So that was definitely an interesting experience.
I think that takes the cake. Okay. That's the one. Well, Megami, I cannot thank you enough for coming and stopping by for Lord of the Ringings with me. I was trying to figure out how to say that properly.
Yeah, you know what? I love that you got to hold my sword. And
yes.
We'll let you hold my pole right after this.
I'll hold the pole, and then I'll hold the sword, and
we'll go on an adventure to Mordor.
And then maybe there won't be a fan around to say something.
Hopefully.
Well, what's coming down the pipeline for you? What can fans expect?
What can fans expect from me? You know what? I'm working, and I am so happy and grateful to be working because I don't know when this is coming out. So check my social media to come find me, hopefully in a city near you. And if I'm not in a city near you, go complain to the governor. Get me out there.
Yes, complain to the governor. Well, I'm Joseph Shepard. This is Megami, and this has been Exposed After Dark. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the good dandy stuff down below. Send Megami some love. If you feel like tipping her, do that as well. We're going to put her handles right here, and you can send her some coins for these lovely A cups.
Oh, yes, Christian A cups.
Christian A cups. Bye, guys.
Bye.